I truly have no idea how this video is going to go. I don't know if I'm going to be a blubbering mess throughout the whole thing, or if I'm just going to be kind of monotone and just getting myself through it. But I have so much to update you on. I feel like if I don't do this video now or ever, then to be honest, I may as well just go onto my YouTube, sign out, shut my laptop and never touch it again, because this ain't it. And it might not seem deep to some of you or any of you, but for me, I'm just like, I've been so bad at this for quite a few years now. And I've spoken about a few things, but truly, I just want to get it out there, because I kind of feel like I've not been a real person on the internet for quite a long time, because essentially what I do when things are overwhelming to me or traumatic or just too much in general, I go in on myself. And I don't just mean in terms of like just the internet. Obviously, I've barely posted like God knows how long, but in like actual life as well. I separate myself from everything. Like I haven't been going to events. I've barely been doing anything social. I've not been looking after myself. I like all the things that make life enjoyable. I just shut myself out from all of it and just kind of get hella depressed. And that's where I've been at. It's okay. Actually, that's where I've been at. It's not where I'm at right now. I'm kind of feeling like I'm coming at the other end of it. But yeah, I'm literally sweating. You can tell, like, this is not any glowy, fancy product that I can sell you with an affiliate link. This is pure sweat and like just stress on my face. Like, it's mental. I'm literally just sat here with a camera right now, but I am sweating as if I was like physically talking in front of 500,000 of you guys. This is a lot. And like, as cliche as it sounds, because I'm aware that sometimes like influencers can say things and it can very much seem like it's just a whole load of bullshit and being like, I love you so much, you're literally my world. I haven't met the majority of you, but I appreciate you and I respect you and I want nothing but the best for you. But like, as cliche as it sounds, I want to do this for me to kind of get it out there, but also like genuinely from the bottom of my heart, I do just want to kind of get a connection back with you guys and actually be a real person and not just put makeup on and make some jokes here and there and, you know, talk about my life like ever so slightly, like little nuggets of information here and there. I want to actually kind of be on the same page as you guys and not avoid talking about some things because I don't feel ready to, or, you know, gloss over some things and pretend they're not a thing. I literally just want to be like, here's everything. And you guys, you know, I've had so many amazing conversations with so many of you guys over the years about various things that we've connected on. But I want it to, again, cliche buzzword here, kind of feel like a safe space and for us to literally just like, as cringe as it sounds, just kind of be mates and just be on like the same page of things. And I don't feel like I can do that if I'm basically just ignoring a whole lot of things that have happened over the past few years and a lot of questions that you guys may have had. I'm hopefully going to be answering the majority of them. I'm already exhausted. I already need to go and take a nap and like 3 cold showers because my back is sweating. But yeah, basically, I want to talk to you guys about some stuff. And it's probably going to be a long video and I don't know how coherent I'm going to be for some of it. But it's what I want to do. And if you're open to listening and, you know, chatting in the comments, that I know one of the last videos that I did was, and this is not why I'm doing it, but it got a lot of views and a lot of comments. And I still get like comments even now on that video. And I want to talk to you guys in the comments. And, you know, I'm sure I'll talk to some of you guys in DMs and stuff like that. But I just want to get it out there and kind of start again. New background, by the way. We'll talk more about that in a bit as well, but I hope you like it. Things are going to change. This is literally like the first like full video that I'm sitting down filming with it, so I might look at the lighting when I'm editing and be like, bruh, what is that? So if the lighting sucks, let me know and I will work on it for the next videos, but new background. I hope you enjoy. I've got a lot more space. It's great. So yeah, I'm going to be doing my makeup, trying to talk about things in like a coherent manner and, you know, I should have written a list. That really would have helped me, but it's fine. We're just going to do it because otherwise I will just keep going around in circles and just talking about nothing. So we're just going to get started. And I might mention a few products like here and there, but realistically, I'm probably just going to be talking and doing my makeup. So if you guys did want to know what I was using, a lot of the products that I am using are kind of like my usual faves, but I'll link them down below as always. Let's do this. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna start off with the brows, but we're actually, you know what, I'm honestly not even really gonna talk about makeup because I think that would just distract me constantly, but we're doing brows. So let's get started. Let's kind of get some of you up to speed. A lot of you will know this already, so I'm just gonna kind of whiz through it. This all kind of started, or a lot of it kind of started 4 years ago, which is mad because I'm like, Jesus Christ, have I really been that useless for like 4 years? Yes is the answer. So I lost my mum 4 years ago. She had been ill for basically my whole life, and it was unexpected, but also like I kind of always knew that unless like some sort of miracle was going to happen, which Jesus Christ, I was trying for that miracle. I was kicking down the doors of miracles and trying to be like, will this work? Will this work? Evidently it didn't work. And I'm just trying to speak like as matter-of-factly as possible with this because I can't unlock that shit anymore. I can't keep hashing over it again. But yeah, I lost my mum about 4 years ago. It makes it sound like I lost her in Tesco or something. Like she's just at the milk aisle and I just can't figure out where she is. My batteries are finished charging. So obviously that ruined my life, to say the least. But essentially I lost mum in the milk aisle at Tesco. If you see her, let me know. Yeah, then COVID happened a few months after that, which obviously was an absolute shit show for everyone. I lost 2 grandparents in that time as well, which I know like I'm very lucky to, and even now I still have some grandparents, but you know, that obviously sucks as well. It's like getting hit from all angles. And to be honest, as you can probably imagine, I just fell into the biggest depressive episode of my life. And realistically, I'm kind of only really getting over it now. I thought I'd gotten over a lot of stuff. I know you never truly get over like losing someone like that, especially at a younger age. But yeah, I thought I'd kind of had the worst of it. Oh, life really did just say, here's a few things for you that are, you know, pretty horrendous. You handled that. This girl can take some more. Let's see how much she can take. And apparently I can take a lot, but I would like to never have to do that ever again. Please, life, thank you, sincerely, me. But yeah, so everything kind of started there. I was a freaking mess, as you can imagine. Kind of took some time off the internet and then didn't truly honestly know by the time like COVID wasn't as much of a thing anymore and lockdowns had ended and stuff. I didn't really know where my place was in the internet. On the internet. Because, you know, I kind of took a back seat and I came back again after a few years, but then all these other things happened that I will again talk about. But I truly, as someone who'd been on the internet for like trying to make it their job since they were literally 15, I'm 31 by the way, I kind of came out of the depressive coma essentially. And I was like, oh, I've got a lot of catching up to do because I feel like, you know, everyone says this, but I feel like if you take time off on the internet, you are forgotten about so fast, which is the downsides of this job, but it is what it is. It's like you as, again, cringe as it sounds, you have to stay relevant. And there's not much that was relevant about me because I wasn't posting and I was miserable and I was just on pure like autopilot, just doing what I had to do. Putting makeup on, filming videos, getting them up, done. And the rest of my time was spent just being hella miserable. I'm going to do some concealer, a lot of concealer. I do have a bruise here, by the way. I swear every time I come on here, I always have a bruise on my chin from getting filler. Yeah, but I have coated up a little bit because I don't want to scare any of you guys. Have your thoughts on it. It is what I've literally gotten filler in my chin and in my face for about 10 years now. And yeah, it is what it is. Like, have your thoughts, but also I had no chin, so I just had that topped up. I love that I was like, I'm not really going to talk about makeup. I'm just going to talk about traumatic events. But evidently, talking about makeup is way easier than talking about thoughts and feelings. So that kind of catches a lot of you guys up to speed with like where I was. But that was just like, what's the saying? My brain's gone dead, the tip of the iceberg. So this is around COVID times. One major stressful thing, which I get, like, trust me, I get it. It's not, I'm going no more. It's not as stressful as, you know, losing literal people. How can I say this? Because it's actually like an ongoing thing and I can't talk about it too much because it is like a legal thing. But basically, and it's nothing to do with any brands I've ever worked with, my management, nothing like that at all. It's actually nothing to do with the internet, basically. But during COVID time, when I was dealing with, you know, losing my mum and then also losing a bunch of other people and then wondering, who the hell I was, as well as like a few other things that, also getting diagnosed with ADHD, which I know is a buzzword or like a buzz phrase. Again, think of it what you will, whether you're one of those people that think, oh, everyone has it, or, you know, you have it yourself, or whatever. I got diagnosed with ADHD. It's a fact. It's probably not a surprise to the majority of you. But that in itself was very much like oh, damn, like, there's something... I kind of always knew there was something like wrong with me. I don't want to say wrong with me, but I'm going to say wrong with me. You know, even as a kid, I always felt a bit different, which I think a lot of people that, you know, have some sort of neurodivergence, whether it's autism or OCD or ADHD or depression or anxiety, whatever it is, I think a lot of people can relate to feeling like a bit of an outsider and not really feeling like you fit in. And so when I got that diagnosis, it's actually one of the best things I've done for myself. Like, I went private and it was spenny. I was going to do a video on it at one point, but to be honest, the amount of people just like online, not even saying it to me, but the amount of people online that were like talking about how, oh, everyone has ADHD and it's like this new thing and, you know, blah, blah, blah. I could not be bothered to kind of open myself up to, Jesus, I look like I'm wearing a mask right now. Whoa. I didn't want to open myself up to that because I just mentally just couldn't do it. And it was one of the best things that I probably ever did for myself. But it was also very much one of those things where when you get the confirmation that you have ADHD or whatever it is, and essentially you get told that you have something wrong with you. Again, I'm not saying there's something wrong with you if you have ADHD, but that's the word that I'm just sort of using for myself. When you get told that, it's good to know that you weren't crazy the whole time in thinking you were different. It's also kind of like, damn, there is something wrong with me. I have been weird this whole time, and it makes you overthink everything. So then I'm here like, oh, do all these people that have been nice to me over the years, are they just being nice to me because they feel sorry for me because they think I'm weird? So that didn't help, then having to kind of show up on camera and just pretend that I'm not literally thinking that every single person in the world that I've ever made contact with thinks I'm like weird in a bad way. So that was one thing I was kind of trying to deal with. But again, that wasn't necessarily something that was like this huge downfall of my life, but it was something that did obviously impact me at the time. I'm going in, boy. But what happened next? Okay, so during lockdown as well, I don't remember what came first. Some things I won't remember what came before the other. But the legal thing that I was going to talk about is basically I lost the majority of my money. I'm talking money that I had saved for what originally was when, my mum got super, super ill. I was like, okay, any money that I have and any money that I earn, I'm saving in case I can help my mum in any way. And there really wasn't much I could do, but there were things that I was looking into. The idea was that when, she did pass away, it was like, okay, well, that is still, that I'm still happy I saved it. I'm going to use that for my house. Because me and Ollie have been working on a house build for God knows how many years. And a lot of you have been asking about that for a while as well, which I will touch on. But I literally lost 6 figures. Let's just say that. A lot. And, the problem is I can't complain too much. Like, I know I'm allowed because, for anyone, I don't care how much money you've got, but losing that much money or that percentage of your bank account is horrendous for anyone. It truly doesn't matter if you're like a millionaire, if you lost like literally like 90% of what's in your bank, you're allowed to be pissed. But I'm also well aware that, I'm an influencer. We all know that influencers earn or can earn decent money. So for me to sit here and complain, like, it's fine that I'm allowed to complain because it's a situation. But I'm also sitting here and thinking to myself, like, this was during COVID when a lot of people were using like food banks, didn't know when they were going to go back to work, were losing money. And I'm talking about the materialistic things right now. I'm not talking about like losing literal like people and family members. So here's me, complaining, but please don't think that I'm saying that my life is harder than anyone else's, because trust me, I'm well aware it's not. And I feel like a piece of shit for even, I used the wrong brush there. Just put contour over my nose. I feel like a piece of shit for literally complaining about these sort of things when, hello, everything going on in the world, I don't even need to explain to you the shit shit show that the world is right now. My little problems with my money and self-confidence and this and that means nothing. But as you can probably appreciate, that sucked because that was literally the majority of my life savings. And so yeah, I lost a shit ton of money. But that was obviously like a huge thing at the time as well. I'm thinking, okay, not only have I lost my mum, have I lost my grandparents, I've lost like essentially what felt like freedom at the time because of COVID. I had lost like all self-confidence. I also lost a shit ton of my money. And then the list will carry on throughout. But it felt like from every angle, I was losing things, whether it was people or like money or literal like opportunities, goals. It was like everything was going. And that's why I'm like, I can sit here now and be like, I'm fine, I'm doing good and I'm moving forward with my life. But it was scary as shit at the time, to be quite honest with you, because I truly did feel like I was losing everything. And yeah, that was just another thing to add to the list. While we're trying to build this house, while we're trying to do this, while I'm like trying to literally set up multiple businesses, and then I haven't been able to do any of them because I lost basically everything. So that really sucked, as you can probably imagine. You know, I'm still doing fine. I still live in the same place. I'm still very much privileged and I'm aware of it, but boy, did that suck. And it kind of got me into this point where like, and I'm talking about everything, I'm not just talking about the money, but it was like, the money was kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back, in a sense of when I go in, like there's like different stages of how I do things. So when like bad things happen, I'll usually resort to like throwing myself into work or, you know, whatever project it is at the time. And then when it continues to be bad, that's when I'll kind of go off grid and just not really exist. So if you ever, you know, notice that I've gone quiet, then chances are it's not because I've just gone, I don't care about this anymore. I'm just earning passive income. Who cares? It's realistically because I'm overwhelmed and I don't know how to cope. And I'm not talking about I don't know how to cope with the job, because I've worked difficult jobs before. I've worked multiple jobs at the same time. And I'm well aware that being an influencer, of course, like every single job ever, you could literally have a dream job. There's always downsides to every job. But as someone who's done a lot of jobs, being an influencer is absolutely the easiest, the most relaxed, the most lucrative, all of the above job that I've ever had. So I will never sit here and say that like my job is difficult, because in 99 out of 100 ways it really isn't. But it got me to the point where I was literally like, what's the point? What's the point? And I really fully got into my head being like, why am I actually doing this? And at the time, I truly couldn't figure out an answer. To be honest, I'm only really starting to re-figure out that answer again. I think, to be honest, the main reason why I do this, you know, I love makeup, but would I also still love doing this job if it was like Twitch and gaming? Yeah. Would I love it if it was fashion? Yeah. Would I love it if it was literally just like commentary stuff and, you know, watching random videos and whatever? Yeah. And so I'm realizing that actually the reason why I want to do this job and why I love it so much is, again, cringe alert here, because of the connections that I have with people. You know, you guys have liked me enough to literally travel and, you know, pay some of your own money to travel, to come and meet me, literally some random person from Cornwall, who in the grand scheme of things, let's be real here, I'm not the most beautiful person in the world. I'm not the most talented person in the world. I'm not the most intelligent. I'm not the funniest. Hardworking used to be like what I thought was the reason as to how I actually got here. But I mean, for the past few years, that's gone out the window as well. So I'm not even like one of the more hardworking people. I'm not special in any way. I truly am not. And I'm not saying that to kind of get any response of being like, yes, you are. Like, no, I'm not. I'm fully not. And it's kind of dawned on me. And this is everything I've spoken about so far, this is the thing that's getting me emotional. But in kind of like a nice way. It's actually kind of dawned on me that probably the reason why a lot of you are still here, and I know numbers have dwindled, I know all of that, like of course they have, I've barely been here. I think I'm starting to accept that actually a lot of the reasons to why I do this as a job and why you guys are still here and why you like want to meet me or you trust my, you know, even just like an opinion on mascara or something, is because you like me, which is, sorry, this probably seems like the most like stupid thing to get upset about after literally talking about my mum dying. But I think because I never had that growing up, I never had that feeling, because, you know, I've mentioned it before, I, like a lot of people, I was pretty badly bullied growing up. I was a nerd. I have ADHD. I had ADHD back then, and I was this like loud, talkative, like kind of loopy kid that liked Dragon Ball Z and Pokemon, and still to this day do. And, you know, I was a bit geeky looking, at these massive eyebrows, still do. Massive teeth, still do. And I wasn't popular. And to be honest, it's actually the reason why I even ended up doing this job. Because essentially, you've got, whether I was or wasn't, this is how it felt at the time and still feels sometimes now. I was an ugly, nerdy loser with no friends. And so I wanted to not be all these things. I didn't want to be ugly. I was never going to be a model, but I've managed to kind of make, like, I earn my money by having my face out there. And then having no friends. I got over 500,000 friends now, if you want to look at it that way. I know a lot of us have never met, never even spoken. The majority of you have probably never commented or anything like that. And I will never meet the majority of you, but not so much of a loner now. And I know, like, I'm talking about the internet right now. Like, I have so many amazing friends and all the above, you know, in my actual life. But the reason why I basically ended up doing this job is because I wanted to kind of prove everyone wrong and also prove myself wrong with all the things that people had said about me that I soaked up like a sponge, and to be honest, still have like hell within me. Like, I'm body dysmorphic as hell, and I don't use that word or phrase lightly. But like, I look at myself and I know logically from what people have told me over the years, and, you know, from having worked with brands and doing this and doing that, I'm aware logically that I must be at least a somewhat attractive woman. But then there's young Steph and the part of my brain that is still very much stuck and still remains the same as like when I was younger, like loving the Pokemon, like the Dragon Ball Z, like doing all the stuff like that. I'm still very much in the mindset that I'm just ugly, which is realistically why, you know, I subject myself to have bruises on my face by getting filler. I've never looked at myself the way that other people seem to look at me. Sorry, I feel like I went off on a bit of a tangent there. There's probably going to be a lot of tangents. But that's what I mean when I was saying how, like, I feel like I'm kind of accepting the fact that actually you guys are here because you just like me. It's making me want to cry again. And that I am enough, whether I'm talking about makeup or I'm playing games or I'm vlogging or doing whatever. Like, when I was in locked in, they were even sort of saying to me, like, you need to do more than makeup because of my personality. And I'm like, ooh, okay, that sounds fun. Like, that's like great to hear, because it means I'm not just makeup, which I know I'm not, and I've always known I'm not. But I think because it's been what's basically made my career has been makeup and doing things like that, I feel very, very scared to venture out, because I guess I'm scared that people won't like me if I'm not just doing makeup. And it probably sounds really silly to some people. And again, it's like fully first world problems, especially right now. But I'm just trying to be as honest as possible. Like, I'm. People always say to me, "Oh, you know, you seem to like not give a fuck about what other people think." I'm like, I am the CEO of giving a fuck. I give too many fucks. Yeah, I'm like, I'm just worried about stepping out of my comfort zone. And I'm not saying, oh, that means I'm not going to do makeup. Like, of course I'm still going to do makeup. But like when I did Twitch during lockdown and stuff, I was amazed at like how many people like just watched me play Minecraft. Mental. And it was the most wholesome thing. And there was no makeup talk. I would come on with makeup sometimes. Sometimes come on with like no makeup at all, looking like a little greasy rat. And no one cared. And people were literally, as egotistical as it might sound, like people were there for me and like the little community that we had on there, basically. I don't know what else to say, but I'm terrified of putting myself out there, because I've managed to be very kind of safe with a lot of what I do. And I think that's actually a lot of my problem, because I've kind of allowed myself to be in this safe little bubble. But also, if I don't do a lot of these things that I've been wanting to do, that is very much just, I'm looking for my freaking foundation brush and I don't know where it's gone. If I don't kind of get out of my comfort zone, which is, you know, an example of what I'm trying to do a little bit right now, then I may as well just not create content anymore. Because at the end of the day, the videos that I've been doing have just been trying new makeup, trying new drugstore makeup. There's this new brand. Let's try it. And I love those videos, and I still watch all these videos, and they're still well and good, and I will continue to do them. But I want to do more, but I'm scared. I'm really scared. But then I'm also like, but people are still here for me, and people have literally said, like in the comments, that I've seen the comments, and I know I haven't been good at replying because, to be honest, I've just been overwhelmed. People being like, I would literally watch you, I don't know, like something like watch paint dry. And it's comments like that where I'm like, people do actually just like me. Like, they like me. They really like me. That's how I feel. But I don't know how to feel about it, because it's not like openly admitting that I'm liked and that I'm essentially like popular is not a statement that I feel comfortable saying, because I feel like an asshole, and I feel like it doesn't come natural to me because I'm still so stuck in the headspace that I have been my whole life, where I'm just like, I'm a loser and no one likes me and I'm ugly. Yeah, like getting to the realization essentially that people do actually just like me. I'm kind of at this realization that I need to just do it, whatever it is. Hello, Michael. Would you guys like to see Michael? He's gone all wiggly. Michael, you just look so grumpy. You want me to put you down? You don't look very happy. Okay, the lights are probably quite bright for you. There you go. Yeah, whatever it is, I realize I need to do it, or at least start doing it a bit more. So yeah, I think I've basically just been realizing things, you know? 2024 is the year of realizing things. But no, seriously, I've kind of come to the conclusion, but now it's a case of actually doing it, that literally saying it makes me just want to cry. Like that I'm enough, and that maybe the reason why I have all of this isn't because I do makeup, or, you know, isn't because I have a nice setup and I have a close-up camera and, you know, I upload a lot of things in like 4K and stuff. I'm sure, again, that's a plus, but maybe that's not actually the reason why I'm successful. I guess successful. Okay, so that's kind of, I feel like that's like one of the chapters sort of closed. I feel like I'm literally like going through like chapters essentially of where my life's been at for the last however long. Let's go into some other things that kind of threw me off. When was it? It must have been like over a year ago now. Every time I say that, I'm like, Jesus Christ, you've literally been in this funk for so long. Like, pull yourself together, woman. So this was maybe just over a year ago. I know that some of you will know because I think I reshared it from my sister. Just over a year ago, when I felt like I was kind of getting my life back in order a little bit. Yeah, my sister had a stroke. She would have been 33 or 34. But that basically, and I know it's very much like, it's way worse for her. I'm fully like indulging myself right now and I'm talking about myself, but of course it's way worse for her. Of course it's way worse for her partner, all of the above. But like for me, having, you know, lost my mum, I was then like, oh, am I gonna lose my sister as well? And that just brought me back to like square one. And then, this is where I won't go into it too much because he's private and all of that, and I fully respect it. But then Dad then had a very, very major health scare. Again, I won't go into it or anything like that, but again, very major. I remember I actually got a call. I was going to Talia Mar's birthday. We'd driven up to London. All cool. Like, got there. As far as I was aware, Dad was fine. And then I got a call from my stepsister saying that my dad had been taken into hospital, like rushed into hospital in an ambulance, and they weren't sure what was going on. But yeah, that brought me back down to this, like just this mental state where I was like, I'm gonna lose everyone. I just basically had a mental breakdown. I just didn't know what to do with myself. None of this internet shit mattered. None of the money mattered. None of like what house I lived in, any of that. None of that mattered if I didn't have these people around me. And there was other things going on in my life as well, with like a few friends where like things weren't great for them. And I was literally just like, oh my God, like literally nothing matters apart from the people in my life. And I'm scared I'm gonna lose all of them. But that sucked. That really, really sucked, as you can imagine. And the last thing I wanted to do was then hop on camera and be like, hi guys, let's do makeup, let's do this, let's do that. Okay, where were we? Because my camera just died and I did my liner and I've just completely forgotten where I was. So I guess let's kind of go to more like modern day, the last like 6 months to a year-ish. Because this is where I've had a lot of questions from people, a lot of like assumptions, lots of different things. So I'm going to do mascara and I'm going to talk about that. So yeah, with everything that I've mentioned, I went into a complete hole. Basically, during all of that time, in the last like year, just over a year, I did end up, like, brands, if you're watching, like, I'm fine now, promise. I basically ended up having a problem with drinking. And it didn't get to the point where I like needed help or I needed someone to step in, but it was definitely a problem. It was like a very functioning problem. And it was something that I literally hid from like everyone. But it ended up becoming this thing that when I had a lot to do, because I obviously wasn't ready to kind of do a lot of the things that I was doing. I'm not talking about like necessarily just filming like YouTube videos. I mean, like there was a lot of things I had to do. And it got to the point where I was just like, when I was overwhelmed, stressed, I'd be like, you know what, glass of wine. Like I work from home. I'm not driving anywhere. You know, no one's gonna fire me. I'm just gonna have a glass of wine. And then the same way that any kind of addiction can happen, it just progresses. And at the start, you're like, I got a hold on this. Like, I could have stopped, easy. And then it just kind of became this thing where I was like, anytime I felt overwhelmed, because realistically, I felt overwhelmed the next day, probably because I hadn't dealt with my actual emotions at the time, because I realistically needed more than a day to deal with my emotions, and I needed some time just to kind of decompress. It ended up becoming this thing where I was drinking a lot. And, you know, I know like sometimes in the summer or whatever, people can like, you can like binge drink, and it's obviously not good. It's obviously not healthy. We all know this, but it can be fun. But it wasn't even like that. It wasn't even like I was like having loads of fun with my friends over like a summer and having like, you know, a month of just drinking more than normal because I was at festivals or parties or whatever. I was just sat here on my computer in the house, just drinking and just basically getting through every day and using that as like a crutch to be like, this is too much for me right now, but it has to be done. So let me just like bring myself down 10 notches and just not be sober. And obviously that catches up with you. You know, it catches up with you both in terms of like addiction and like mental health and all the above. But the thing that you guys probably would have noticed is that I put on weight. Like, I get it when you're on the internet. I get it. I don't like it. I wish it didn't exist, but I understand. It's like that whole like Mean Girls thing where it's like, I wish that everything could be like rainbows and flowers and like bake a cake and we could all be happy. That'd be great. But I'm fully aware that the internet is not always a nice place. And especially I think when you're doing like makeup stuff and it's very much like, hello, look at my face and how it looks. People kind of then probably assume that that's all there is to you or that's all that you care about. So when they go to insult you or say something nasty about you, it'll be like how ugly you are or whatever. And so there's me, drinking problem, like skin's puffy as hell. I've put on weight. I put on like 10 kg. I don't need to say like how much I weigh or anything, but that's like a pretty good percentage. I'm 5'3" and I've always been quite a small petite person. So I put on 10 kg, which you know is fine if you know if you're healthy, and there's nothing wrong with people going up weight or down weight or whatever, as long as you know you're doing it for healthy reasons or you're happy or whatever. Anyway, constantly I was getting a combination of things like, you know, just straight up like, you look fat. What have you done to your face? You look botched. This whole time I hadn't done anything. I think maybe I'd done Botox, but that doesn't like change the size of your face. And yeah, so you're botched, you're ugly, you're fat. People assuming that I was pregnant, which, you know, isn't always something that comes from like a negative place. But I think we all know by this point, you probably shouldn't really assume that a woman is pregnant. That paired with, you know, me not actually even knowing what I was doing on the internet and hating how I looked, being depressed enough to have then, you know, become addicted to alcohol. But oh, by the way, I like kind of left you on a cliffhanger there. I've stopped drinking. I'm not actually sober. But I did go sober for a while and I just stopped drinking completely because I know I never had a problem before, and I now don't have a problem or anything. I can go out for like a glass of wine with like food or whatever, or even have, you know, a couple of drinks and get a bit drunk with my friends. And then the next day I'm like, cool, I don't need to touch it. So I've gotten myself out of that. It fully was just like a coping mechanism thing. Yeah, I never thought like, I know it can literally happen to anyone, but I never thought it would just kind of just snowball like that, because I was like, I know like, you know, my relationship with alcohol right now isn't that great, but you know, once I get over this rough patch, I'm just gonna, you know, not drink. And then suddenly it was like, oh, months later, this rough patch feels a lot worse because actually I'm also just making myself feel ill and messing with my mental state because I'm drinking so much. That was another thing that I sort of added to my list, that I truly just felt like shit coming on camera. Because I would look at myself and I would see myself in like videos or like, there's so many videos that I've literally got on my computer that I've not posted and probably won't post, because I look at myself and I just think like, I look so bloated, which that's fine, bloating happens. But I think it's because I knew, like looking at myself, I'm like, oh, I know how you're feeling. I just didn't want it. I just didn't want to sit down and film, didn't want to look at myself in the viewfinder, didn't want to then sit down and watch a video back of, you know, me looking like shit and then being like, oh God, now here come the comments of people telling me that I'm fat or I'm bloated or I'm botched or whatever when I already feel like shit myself. I just stopped posting for a while and just kind of posted some videos that maybe I didn't think I looked as bad in, but I still don't like them. And so here I am now. I've literally lost the 10 kg that I put on from like all the booze and stuff, and been going to the gym and looking after myself. Well, trying to at least. Okay, let's bring it to like present day, the last 6 months. 6 months-ish. I've spoken a lot. I appreciate you still here. So, a lot of questions, covered a little bit. The main questions have been, am I pregnant? Covered that. No. Am I engaged? I guess because I've been wearing rings on, but I wear rings on literally like every finger. It just depends on how I'm feeling. No, I'm not engaged, not married. And have Ollie and I split up? Yeah. And yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So yeah, Ollie and I did split up. And I'm not gonna talk about this too much. I don't need to be honest. But I do just wanna say, because obviously some of you guys will have known Ollie from like Twitch, and we used to stream on Twitch together sometimes. You'll know him for editing my videos. You'll, you know him as my boyfriend for what was the last 11 years, which is mad, literally mental. Like over a third of my life was spent with him. But I do want to say, like, there is literally, and I know what some people are like. I know you guys are so chill, but I know some people can like try and reach and like find something. There is zero bad blood, and if you guys take away anything from this video, I just want to say, like, please don't go like reaching out to him, because he's always been like a pretty private person, and he knew that I was gonna like talk about this, you know, at some point, because obviously he's been a big part of like my life and just this channel for literally since it started. But yeah, like, please don't go and like message him, even like nice messages. Because I know it'll be like from the goodness of your guys' hearts, but I know from knowing him, he probably wouldn't want any of that sort of like attention or anything. Yeah, we broke up basically at the start of the year. Like I said, there's no bad blood. I want quite literally nothing but the best for him, and same like vice versa from what I can gather. The problem is there was no real issue, but it just wasn't working, and it's really shit and it's sad. And trust me, it's weird because like everything's fine, but it's weird talking about it again as if it was like the first time, but actually, it was a little while ago now. It was absolutely for the best. We both agreed that it was probably something we should have done. I just started like cleaning a bit of my equipment here just because I've run out of makeup to put on my face now, so I'm just like spring cleaning. It was absolutely for the best. We both agreed with it, and like we've seen each other since, just obviously because we like have worked together for so long. He's now like, he finished work with me, when was it, end of April? So I'm going to be editing my own videos. Like this video, the first one that I'm filming since like coming back, I'm editing this and it's going to be a long one. Like, why have I done this to myself? But yeah, that was obviously really shit. Like for the best, like I said, absolutely for the best. But of course, like, that's all I've known for like 11 years. It's just a bit weird, isn't it? It's just weird. Yeah, I mean, it fully is kind of like a fresh start for me in a lot of ways. I'm looking after myself. I'm kind of essentially wanting to like restart my career, and, I've got the full on freedom to do that. And I actually think, just quickly moving on from Ollie, I actually think it'll be better for the channel and for me, because I think that'll also allow me to have more of a connection with you guys again. Because the way that it worked before, if you guys don't know, I would film a video, I'd give him the memory cards, he'd put it on his PC, he would edit everything and like cut it down. I'd normally like check it like pretty much before it was done, and if it was like too long, I'd like cut some bits out or like tweak a few bits and then upload it and I'd post it. So even though like I was obviously checking it throughout the whole way, there's obviously still like a disconnect there because I'm not doing everything. Yeah, I do just feel like it just being like solely me again will probably be good for both me and like you guys and everything. Stop eating a bin bag. Oh, as you can probably tell, actually you might be thinking otherwise because you haven't seen Pepe yet, but the boys have remained with me. Besties, which I'm very grateful for, because they're literally my freaking children. I think I would lose my mind if I didn't have them, even though I lose my mind because I do have them, because all they do is just scream. And now, before it was like 1 cat per person. Now it's 2 cats per person. And I am the person. Housing stuff. We've known for a while, even before we knew we were going to split, that this wasn't going to work out the way we wanted it to, because the way that prices went up, like how everything was originally, it was like everything had aligned. And then everything unaligned, and it just got too much. It was too stressful. It was too expensive. There were too many just things going on. Obviously, me losing like the majority of my cash didn't really help. And basically what we're doing, like it's still going ahead essentially, but instead we're doing it as like an investment as opposed to us going to try and build our house and like our dream home. It's more just like an investment thing. So a while ago, this is actually quite a while ago now, I sort of had to take myself out of that, because that was literally like my dream. I think it's a lot of people's dreams to have like to buy, even build like your own house. And so when I kind of realized that wasn't going to happen, like my heart broke, because I was like, again, made me think to myself, like, what am I doing all this for then? So I had to kind of, take myself out of that situation, take out the emotions from it, and just look at it from basically like a business standpoint. But that's going to be happening. I've got 2 new rooms now. That's why I'm in a new, we've come full circle, new backdrop, because I'm currently in Ollie's old office. Got a guest bedroom now. And yeah, to be honest, right now, it kind of feels like I lost a shit ton, and I'm now kind of rebuilding the things that I want to rebuild, tying up a lot of loose ends with things, which is basically where I've been for the past few months. Obviously, I've been trying to like sort my own self out, and to be honest, get some balls to sit in front of a camera again. But I've just been tying up a whole load of loose ends, figuring out kind of where I'm at. And to be quite frankly, I don't know where I'm at, but I know I'm doing a lot better than I have been for a long time. And I know that I've got a good foundation for kind of doing whatever I want, really, in terms of like my health and like stability in various senses. And that's about it. Like I literally have no idea what I'm doing, where I'm at right now, really. And I know I'm probably not ready to do anything at all. But I also know that if I'm not ready now, then I probably never will be. I'm terrified of everything. Absolutely, I'm literally terrified of everything. Like Jesus Christ, I'm not actually scared of much in life. I do not like heights. So never put me on like a roller coaster. I do not like heights. Otherwise, not really scared of much, but somehow I'm scared of absolutely everything. But I'm kind of like, I don't know. I'm basically at a point where it's like I either like just be scared and don't do anything, and then in another 4 years' time I will feel even worse probably, or I stay scared and just do it anyway. And I don't know what it is. And I know there's like, I sound like I'm doing like a job interview or something. I know I've got a lot of potential. Like there's a lot of things that I can do. I just need to stop getting in my own freaking way. And it might sound way more deep than it actually is, but even just me sitting here and just filming a video, I've gone in a bit deeper, like talking about all this stuff, but even just me sitting in front of the camera and filming a video for the first time in ages was like, I was shitting myself. I don't know why. I'm editing this, like I could turn this video into anything. But I feel good for doing it. That's literally like, I was probably going to cut that out, just a big sigh of relief, but actually that's exactly how I feel, like having just done all of this, and also just everything of the last few years, like, as shit as it was, I feel like I'm cockroaching again. We had shrimp mode, we still have shrimp mode, my posture is still like absolute dog shit. But we also have cockroach mode, and I'm initiating cockroach mode right now, where I'm just like, oh, I'm gonna keep coming back. Like you stamp on me, you crush me, that's fine. I'll be back. I'll be buzzing around and like in your bins, just like, woo, I'm a cockroach. Yeah, I'm just gonna throw myself into work, but in a healthy way. And not in a way that's like I'm throwing myself into work to kind of distract myself. I'm like, no, I want to do this. I wanna go to some, like, let's talk about some superficial shit. Like, who cares? Like, I wanna go to some cool events. I want to go on some cool brand trips. I want to see some of my friends that I haven't seen for ages because they live all the way up in London and I've been a little hermit down here. I want to do all these things, to have all these experiences, that this job that somehow I've managed to maintain even whilst being a piece of shit, that I still have. I want to do a lot. But yeah, I don't really know how to end this video. I feel like I'm like the mayor or something and being like, I just want to say thank you all for your support over the last few years. But I actually do mean that, because like, Jesus Christ, where would I be without you? I don't know what is coming. I want to have, let's do some, okay, I don't normally believe in this. If you do, fair enough, I don't normally believe in it. Let's manifest. I want a makeup brand. I want a really cool makeup brand. I actually want a jewelry brand as well. And I'd love a streetwear brand. But let's start with maybe one of them first. I would actually really like to start doing music at some point in my life. But that is a whole other ball game. Twitch. Oh, Twitch has got to make a comeback. Twitch has got, because that was so fun. That didn't like, that's like technically work. Ooh, influencer work. But that was just fun. Vlogs, maybe. I'm scared of them, but maybe we should do that. Maybe if I start making some sort of brand or something. Basically, like, the world's my oyster, and I am a cockroach. Steph Toms, 2024. God, that'd be so cool if I could end on that, but I talk too much. But that's literally how I feel. I'm like, I'm going into cockroach mode, and the world is my oyster. There's a lot of things I can do. There's a lot of things I'm capable of doing, and I just have to do them and get the hell out of my own way. So hopefully we can do that together. What is it? Oh my, I'm so old. What is it? No, wait. Oh. I'm 31. I just humbled myself so hard. Everything that I've done in this video, everything I've spoken about, crying on camera, nah, this is the most embarrassing thing I've done thus far. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna leave it here. Yeah, don't know how to end it. I just thanks for sticking around. Thanks for listening. Thanks for all the nice comments that I know you're gonna leave. I appreciate you. I don't know what else to say without sounding like a cringy ass cliche YouTuber, but considering I haven't met like over 99% of you most likely, you're all very cool, and I really appreciate you and love you and want nothing but the best for you, and I know a lot of you just want the same for me, and that's very, very nice. Anyway, love you. And see you in the next video. How the hell do you end shit like this? Speaking about all the crap I've spoken about, and I'm just like, boy, love you, bye. Oh, come on, that wasn't that bad. Give me a break. It's been a rough few years. Love you, bye.